Hello everyone, thanks for joining. This is Bala, and today we are going to have some training on the new LRC application. And Michelle, if you are there, we can give a brief introduction.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. We'd like to thank you for attending the training today, and this is for the new online lead rental certification and accreditation database that we've been working on for the past 2 years. Also on the line is Becky Singleton and our reps from the Maryland Department of Information Technology, and our contractor, Sarah Gore and Bala from Sarah Gore will be doing the training. We'd like to ask you guys if you have questions on your menu on the screen, if you could click the question box and leave your question, and we'll stop every so often and we will address the questions as we go on. For anything that we don't have questions for, we will have them recorded in the question box and we will post them online or get back to you as soon as we can. This is part of a 2-year project that we've been working on, and we're very excited to launch the program and to basically hopefully leave all our paper processes behind, as well as make the process for you guys and for us more efficient and quicker. I'm sure there'll be some speed bumps, as we transition into the new system, but together we can do it and have a better system for both parties. So with that being said, I'll turn it over to Bala.
Thanks, Michelle, and hello everyone. Welcome to this session. And if anyone has any trouble with audio, please raise your hand. Let's make sure everyone is able to hear.
Well, I have one person that can't.
Yeah, probably it's better if you can rejoin the meeting if you cannot hear. Probably it is something to do with your audio settings. I hope everyone else is able to hear my voice clear. And I'm going to present my screen. So I hope everyone can.
Bala, we have several people that are having audio issues.
So
Can we hold off for just a minute?
Yes, sure.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. This is Kate Majak. I'm the support staff. Is everybody able to hear me? If you could raise your hands, that would be a great indication. Kevin, thank you. Yay, we're getting a good show of hands. Andrew, are you still having issues? Michael, can you hear me? Okay, so if you see on the screen that you're viewing, you should have your phone number and an access code. Then after that, there's an audio pin. I see Tamika says she had to dial in. Yes, okay, good. So Andrew can hear us. That's great. So I think we're good to go ahead, Bala.
Thanks, Missy. Yeah, let me share my screen again. All right. I hope everyone can see my screen. So this is the new LRC application, lead rental certification and accreditation. And the screen you are currently seeing is the login screen to the application. There are several tabs, like we have the home screen about the introduction. Then we have a tab about the courses. Here you can have a quick preview of the courses that are available for training. And then you have a help tab, which will help you access to the training manual, like how to create a new profile, how to reset your password, how to register courses, how to create a profile for any user who is already having a license or who is already having a training card, or for any service providers or training providers, how can they create an authorized user profile who can manage their business inside this application. And all these help manuals can be accessible through help. You can directly click on any of the topic which you would like to look at, and once you do that, a PDF will open, and in the PDF you will see step by step with some screenshots on how to proceed with that specific topic. So you can download these PDFs and you can save and refer to that anytime you need, or you can always come back to the application help and you click on those topics as needed. The next tab is the login. So if you click on login, you will land on the login page where you can, if you have already created a profile, an existing user with a login user profile, you can log in through this. Or if you are new, completely new to this profile, to this system or application, you can register using this register button. And there is another important section here on the login page, which everyone should be noticing, is if you are having any existing license or accreditation, or if you're having any existing business with respect to lead rental certification accreditation, then we suggest you to click here and proceed. This register button you see here is only for users who are completely new to this lead rental certification accreditation. If you are having an existing license with this, or if you have an existing training, or if you're an existing organization doing business or providing services, then you better click here. This is the link which you should follow. So all these are also available again in help. If you go back, like if you are a completely new user to this business or services, you have to prefer this manual. And if you are having an existing business and you want to create a profile to manage your business for these services, you can refer this manual. So right now what I will do is I will go ahead, assume I am an existing service provider. I provide some training to lead rental certification accreditation related business. So if you're an existing organization, I need to create a profile. a login profile to manage my business in this application. So for that, what I will do is I will click here in this line. And now I will land on a new page where are you going to initialize as an existing user, or if you're an existing business and if you want to create a profile to manage your business, you have to click on service provider. So if you click on the service provider tab, you'll see for creating authorized user for a service provider. So my purpose here is to create a profile for my business and to manage my business, all my services which I am providing in this letter entry certification. Say I have a company, you can search your company by giving minimum 3 letters. So I have a dummy company registered in this training environment. So what you have to do is just enter the name of the company and try to search. If there is no company that is existing, you'll see that no results are found. And say if the company is present in the system, you will see a result like this. Like if your business is already there within the system, and if you search using your name, business name, you'll see the results like this. And if I can cross check, okay, is this my company name? Yes. So I want to create a login profile, an authorized user login profile to manage my business in this application. So I will select and then I'll click on proceed. And if you see here, once I clicked on proceed, the system has through a new message saying this organization or service provider is already having a profile. And this user profile is already managing this business. So that is what this message is saying. If there is no user currently existing, if there is no login profile currently existing to manage this business, then you will not see this message. You will directly go to the profile creation page. So right now what I'm doing is I'm assuming that I want to create one more user profile who can manage my business. So I'll just go ahead and say click proceed. Once I do that, you log on a profile creation page. And in this page, you can see what you are trying to do. I'm trying to create an authorized user profile for my business. And if you scroll down, you can see the personal profile details which you can enter. The name, SSN, date of birth, and the fields that are not marked with asterisks are not required. So you don't need to provide social security and gender. There are few fields that are not marked, they are optional. And if I scroll down, you have the contact information section, then you have the address information section. So I'm trying to give a dummy profile. So I'm creating a profile which will have, which the intention is to have the user rights to manage the business. So that is a profile I'm giving. And you can enter all the company related contact. And if you have any company email which you want to use, you better use that email here while creating the profile. And one important point I would like to mention is your email address will be your login username. You will not be given any separate ID or separate username. The email ID which you are going to give in while creating the profile, that will be your login username. And there will be several communications that will happen within between the MDE team and the organization or the users. All the communication will go to this email. So make sure the email address you provide here during profile creation is an actively used email address by the company or the user. That is important. And then you can provide, if you have any company address you want to mention, you can mention the company address here. And this is the address, and then there is a mailing address. If you have a separate mailing address, you can enter or if the address above is the same as the mailing address, you can check this box. So the above address will be auto-populated here. So you can cross-check everything, first name, last name, all the required field information will be provided. You can cross-check the email and address, and once everything is good, you can click on Save Profile. So once the profile is registered in our system, we will send a temporary password to the email address you provided. So you will be receiving an email with a temporary password. So right now, for training purpose, I will just put it from the backend really quick. So once you have that email, you will come on back to this login page. You will enter the email address you have created, and then you enter the temporary password that is sent in the email, and then click on login. After this, the system will ask you to create your secure password. So now you will land on a page where you will enter your secure password. You will set it up using this screen. So initially what you have to do is you have to re-enter the temporary password that you received in the email. And then now you enter a new password. And these are the rules that it should be minimum 8 characters, 1 upper, 1 lower, 1 number, and you must use any of these special characters. So I'm giving my secure password here. I'm re-entering the secure password and I'm saying reset. Now the system has updated with my secure password. So this is the message showing, okay, congratulations, your password is updated. So after this, what you have to do is you can try to log in using your updated secure password. Now I have entered my secure password. I have entered my email address and the username. I click on login. After this, you'll see a page like if you are using this application in any laptop or any desktop or any computer for the first time, system will ask to register and make sure you trust the device you are using. So for that purpose, we will send a one-time password, OTP, to your email. So you should be receiving a OTP in the email, which you can access and then enter. So for now, I'm going to use from the backend. So once you have that OTP in the inbox, you copy paste that password and you make sure you check. Like if you're using your personal laptop or office laptop, which you are going to reuse this application in the same device, make sure you check the box. If you don't check the box, then when you try to log in again after a day or two, it will ask to enter the OTP again in that device. So if you check and say register, down the line, you don't need to enter the OTP. You can simply log into the application using that device. So if you are going to a different laptop, a different new device, then system will ask for the OTP again. But that will be sent to your email for reference. So now what I did is for my organization, I have created a login profile to manage my business. And once you log in, this is the dashboard, which you will see. Here you have the profile name. You have the logout option, and then you have the dashboard. On the dashboard, you'll see some tags saying training courses, register for MDE exams, apply for accreditation, my applications, my accreditations, and payments. So these 6 will be displayed by default once you successfully create a login password. On left-hand side, you'll see a dashboard, personal profile, and business profile. If you click on personal profile, you will see the profile information you have entered while creating the profile. You see the name, first name, last name, date of birth, email address, and all these details. And if you need to update the primary contact, you can change. If you need to change the address or mailing address, you can change it out. but you will not be allowed to change the first name, last name, date of birth, email address. These are all restricted once you create the profile. If you need to change any of these attributes, you need to contact MDE team, and you can update, you can provide the updates that needs to be done, and they can do it on behalf of you. But you cannot change these details on your own once the profile is created. And similarly, if SSN is not provided initially, you can always enter it for once. Like initially, while creating this profile, I did not provide my social security, so that is why you see it as blank. But once you enter it, that will be saved and you will not be allowed to change. So again, once an SSN is saved, you should contact MDE team to change the SSN. So you have to provide the proof to change it and they can update it for you. So there are some restrictions that you cannot do in the personal profile, because these are all some key attributes which we do not give access to the users to change on their own. And other tab you see here is a business profile. And here you can see the organization which you are part of. So this user is part of this organization, and you can click on edit or view to see the organization details. And if you see here, even though you submitted this profile saying this profile is going to have all the rights to manage the business, this user is not yet having the capability to change or edit or do anything. Everything is read only for this user. This user cannot do anything, cannot update the address, cannot change the SDAT number, or cannot change the email ID, or cannot change the website. Only because what you just did is a request that will be sent to MDE team or MDE administrator saying that for dummy user is requesting to be an authorized profile to manage this business. MDE team has to approve it. Until MDE teams approve it, this user will not have any rights to schedule classes, to manage the training locations, to manage the employees of the organization. So all those rights will not be provided for this profile. So now we submitted, we logged into the system, and now I want this user to have all the rights. So what I will do is I will contact the MDE team saying that we have created a profile with the email address for dummy@srgm.com. I want you to approve or give authorization rights to manage this business. So once you request the MDE team will cross-check everything what they need to verify and they will approve. So for training purpose, I want Becky, if you can confirm it, just let me know once you're done.
It's done.
Okay. So now this user login profile was given rights that they can that the user or profile can manage this business. So what I need to do is I have to log out and log in again. And now if you see, initially you have only training courses, exam, apply for accreditation, my applications, my accreditations, and payments. After the approval, you will see 3 more tabs. You can manage the employees, manage the locations, you can manage the classes. So these 3 additional tiles or options will show up once this profile is given the rights to manage a business. And now if I open this information again, if you see now, I have the rights to edit and update. So now I have all the rights to manage this business. I can change the address. I can do whatever it's need to be done for the business or managing the business. So this is the authorized user profile creation. And once you create the profile, you are not auto approved to manage the business. You need to contact MDE team to approve it, and they can, once they approve it, you will see the additional options. As a training provider, most of the time, most important things we do is we need to manage the employee list or the instructors who will give the training. That will be handled in this style. All the training locations online, or if you have any physical training locations, they will be managed in this style. And if you need to schedule any courses or classes, that will be managed in this style. Let me quickly go and open and okay, before this, I'll just give introduction to the other tabs. I'll start from the training courses. If I click on training courses, select, I will land on a training courses page where I will be able to see all the training courses that are scheduled by different training providers. And if I need to attend any course, I can click on register directly. But this is the page where you can see the scheduled training courses from today to future. There will be some courses. This page will show from past 7 days, but you will not see a register button for the courses where the time has crossed. You will see a register button only for courses from today to future. So this is the page where you can see, okay, organization 3 is providing a course of Visual Inspector Initial at this location, and session type is a classroom session, and this is the contact information of the training provider, and the price, and the start and end time of the course. So you can see all the details of the offered courses. And here there is another tab, My Training. If I have registered for any training, I will see all those details here. Assume that I am an inspector or I'm just a user who is planning to register for a inspector technician initial license. I'm pursuing this license, say for example, I want to take a visual inspector initial license. So for that, I have to attend some training, I have to write the exam, then only I am eligible to submit the application. So what I have to do is initially I have to click on register for the course and say yes. And when I click on register, application is throwing a pop-up saying, please contact training provider directly to pay the fee and get the confirmation. The fees related to any of these courses are not handled in this application. For the training courses, the fee is handled outside this application. Training provider needs to contact the trainees of the request registrations directly to get the payment and then confirm. So that is the message we are throwing to the user, that we don't handle the payment of fees and confirmation, but we'll just confirm that a registration request is sent to the training provider. I will show how it's done, but what I just did is I sent a registration request for this class. And if I go to my training, you see, this is registered now here, and the status is pending. So this training provider has not yet approved my registration request. So that is what the status is pending. Only thing that has happened is I have sent a request to join this course. That's all I did. Similarly, if you go back to dashboard, the other tab you see is view or register for MDE exam. If you click on select, you will see all the exams that are scheduled by the MDE team. So you will see two categories, list of third-party exams, and you have the list of instructor exams. And similarly, if you need to register for any exam, say for example, I want to attend a visual inspector third-party exam. So what I will do is I'll just click on select. Once I click on select, you will land on a review page where it will show which exam you would like to attend, which exam date and start time and the location of the exam. And for some exams, like third-party exams, training is mandated. So you cannot register for these kind of exams without selecting a training course. So as I already have a training course that is already registered, request sent, I'll select the training and say register. And I say yes. Now I will land on my exams and you'll see that I have this exam registered and status is active. So if I can go back to exams form, I can see if I need to register for any other exam like instructors, I can pick and choose and register for those exams. So as a user, I just showed you how to register for training courses, like send a registration request for training courses, how to send a registration request for MDE exams. As a training provider, I think most of the significance is you like to know how you want to schedule classes, right? Because as a user, let me just log out and log in as a random user. I'm a random user. I'm coming to this application to apply for a license. For that, I need to take courses, I need to take exams. So as a random user, I'll come here, I go to training courses, I'll see what courses are scheduled. But the courses that are here is scheduled by their respective training providers. How it is done, I will show. How to schedule courses. Okay, I'm organization 3 and 4 dummy is my authorized user who will manage the business, schedule classes. So I'll log in using this profile. Okay, now my intention is to schedule class. So for scheduling any class, you click on manage class select. You will land on a page like as this user has already created some, you will see some courses that are already scheduled by this user for this company. But if you are first time a user and you did not schedule anything before, you'll see this list empty initially. So if you need to create a new course schedule, you click on add a class schedule. Now you will land on a add a class schedule. So here you'll see the first drop down, the company name which you need to select, like the training provider who needs to be selected. And then if you know who the instructor is, you'll see the instructor's name here. But initially, while scheduling classes, if you don't know who the instructor will be, you don't need to select. This is optional. And then courses. We have preloaded list of courses related to this rental certification. So say if you are trying to schedule a visual instructor course, initial course, you select that specific course. And then you select the session type, whether this is an online session or a classroom or online and classroom. Say if it is a classroom section course, then I'll select classroom. Then if it is a classroom, you need to provide the location where this class or this course is going to happen. So you just select the related location. And then when is the class going to be scheduled? Say on December 14, 2 p.m. ending on December 14, say 5 p.m. And then if you have any attributes like how many can register, how many minimum registrations you need, you can enter those numbers and the course price. And if you have any description of the class, you can enter the class description and add class. When you click on add class, it will ask to reconfirm. Say yes. Now you will land on the list of courses that you have scheduled. If you see here, this is the course I just Visual Inspector initial class is a classroom session at this location, and this is the start and end date, and then we have a price. This line item of the course that is scheduled will have two icons, one to the left, one to the right. One to the left is something where you can reopen the class and change the location, or you can change the date or the schedule, or you can change the description. So this is something you can update. So I want to change the start time to 1 o'clock. I'll just update and say yes. So I can manage the class that is already scheduled by clicking this button, or I can click this button and I can even cancel the class. So these are the options you will have when you click on this icon. And the icon to the right will show the numbers if any user has requested to join this course, to attend this course. If that request is sent, you see this number incrementing. Like if you remember, let me just do one thing. So organization 3 scheduled this course on the so and so date. No one has sent a request. Say a random user is coming to this application. They want to pursue a visual inspector course. They look for the courses that are offered and the schedule and the fee provided by multiple training providers. Say one user has selected this and say register. So randomly one user has sent a request to join the course which you schedule. So now if I go and log in to my organization manage profile, if I go to my classes that are scheduled, if you see here, initially it was 0. Now it is 1. Means one user has requested to join or attend this course. And you can click on this icon to see who that is. So when you click on that number icon, you'll land on this page and you'll see who sent you the request. So this person with this email address and contact number has sent a request on so and so date and time. And now you need to contact this person to get the payment outside the system. We will not take the payments through this application for training courses. So once you get the payment for this training, if everything is looking good and if you want to approve this training to attend this course, what you have to do is you have to click on this icon to approve. So you want to approve this training to attend the course? Yes. Just return the green. So now you contacted this requester, you got the payment, everything is good. You want to approve, you click on this icon, you'll get the green icon. And this user will get an email saying this course by this training provider on so and so date, you are approved. The email notification will be sent out to this training. So what I just did is I went to manage classes, I scheduled a class, I have approved a request. But if you observe here, there is one thing which you need to know is the list of instructors or the list of locations. These two will come from your employees and location styles. If you go to dashboard, you click on manage locations. Here, whatever locations you add will only show up in that scheduled class dropdown. If you don't have any location, say I'm just clearing it off. So you are new, you didn't add any locations, any training location addresses. If you go to manage class, if you go to add a class schedule, you will not see anything to select. And if you select any classroom training, this is required. If you select online, then it is fine. You don't need to select a physical location. So based on the session type, you will be prompted to select a location, a physical location address. So based on the session type, if you select a classroom or if you select online and classroom course, location is required. So when I manage my business, first thing I have to do is I have to update all the locations related to my company. Even if you don't know the location now, while scheduling a class, you should know the location. If it is a classroom course which you would like to schedule, you should know where the classroom is going to. So you have to add that location and then you can go and schedule that class. Similarly, you see the list of instructors. while scheduling a class, these are part of your employee list. So whoever you add here in Manage Employee, if you click here, you will land on a page where you can, here I have added some dummy employees. And if you see here, this user profile is having authorization to manage the business. So you can see who are all part of this company and who are all having authorization. And say, for example, you need to add a new employee or a new instructor to your list. You just click on Add Employee. Here you will add on an Add Employee screen. And this instructor should be available in the system. If the user is not there in the system, you will not be able to add to your list of employees. So if the user who is going to be part of your employee list should have an existing accreditation number or should have an email address, means a profile created. So if you don't have a profile created, then you will not be able to search that user and add to the company. So here I'm trying to look for a profile who is existing in the system through email address. I click on search. If you see the first name, last name is blank. If the system is able to find using email address, they will populate. So using this email address, I'm able to identify a profile that is existing. And this person is just an instructor, like a visual instructor. And this person is not going to have any authorization to manage my business. He's just part of my employee list as a visual inspector instructor. I'm not a, if you want to give authorization to manage your business, you can check this for this user. If you don't want this user to be part of your authorization actions to manage scheduled classes or all those activities, do not check. Just save it. And if you see here, I did not select which part of the company this person is. So I need to select the provider name and save employee and say reconfirm. If you see, a new person is added to my employee list, and this person is not having any authorization to manage the business or corporate actions, but this profile is just a visual inspector instructor. So this is how you add your instructor list or employee list, and you keep in mind that they should be part of this system. They should have created the profile. Then only you can go search using email address and add. And this is where you add all your physical training locations. And this is where you add or schedule your classes and manage the classes. All right, so I'll give a pause here and we'll address some questions that are posted now.
Hi, Bala. This is Becky. We have one question. Would it be possible to upload a large amount of classes via an Excel spreadsheet?
I think Sanjay can answer, but I think we can do it. But we need to have a specific list of attributes. We can give a template which they can fill and we can load.
That feature has not been built yet, but we can take it up after go live.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions? You can raise your hand or type them in the chat box or the question box. Okay. Rush, would you like to go first?
Sorry, hello?
I am not muted.
Okay, you are not. We can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. On the registration for the training classes, do students have to register through MDE, or can they go straight, or can they go directly to the training provider?
They have to register in this application. They can go directly, but they have to register here, else they cannot submit the application.
Okay, I have another question.
Yes.
And now, Becky, I guess this is for Becky. How far out will the classes be posted? Because I know that we submit our classes out for several months. And if class times change or class dates change, how's that being handled?
So Bala, correct me, I don't think there's any limit on how far outward you can schedule them.
That's correct.
Far in the
There is no
future. And Bala, could you address the changing the classes portion? I think it's just a matter of canceling and rescheduling, but I'll let Bala address that.
Yes, so if you cancel, we are going to send an email notification that the class is cancelled, but for any changes on the timing or the location, you have to inform them outside this application. There is no notification sent out. But that
Okay,
will
I'm
not
sorry.
be
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't hear at the end. You kind of trailed off.
Say, for example, if you change the training time, scheduled time,
Yes.
you have to inform the user separately outside this application. We will not send any email automatically if you change the timing or schedule. But if you cancel a class, then they'll receive an email that this so-and-so class is canceled. That's the only thing they'll be informed. But if you change the location or if you change the time or schedule, you have to inform the users separate to their email address or to their phone numbers. You have to contact them separate. Like if you see here, like, oh, someone has already registered for this. And if you want to change the schedule, you can change the schedule, but that specific user will not be informed. You have to contact them separately to inform them about the change. But that's something we can also add, but currently we are not sending any auto email about the schedule change. We are sending emails only when you approve the class or when you cancel the class. We are sending an email that you are approved for this so-and-so course to attend, or the so-and-so course is canceled. Those are the email notifications we are sending out to the requesters.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that we need to send emails with any changes.
Yeah, for any schedule changes, yes.
Okay.
Okay, we have another hand raised, Tamika. While we're waiting for her, she's asking, we are a training facility. Do we have to register each journeyman? We are currently uploading via Excel spreadsheet.
Journeyman, I assume, is the user who is attending the course.
Yes.
Yeah, they have to come here and create a profile and register. As I said, whoever needs to attend your specific course, they have to create a profile to this application and go and register through these available training courses.
Tamika, if you can, there's a little microphone button. It's on your dashboard. If you can unmute yourself.
Can you hear me? Oh, wait a minute.
It's a resong. Yeah. Echo is there.
That's because I'm speaking on the computer and I have you on the phone. But I guess you answered the question. So when we have classes, we need to register all of our journeymen and apprentice here versus doing the Excel spreadsheet.
Yes.
Yes. Will they be will they be applying for accreditation, or these workers, or
They're workers.
okay.
I'm speaking of the W1 course.
Okay. Yeah, you can register them, or they can set up their own profiles.
And whoever is registering for these courses, are they not going to
And
submit
we
the
would still
application?
issue the cards and everything as if we normally did.
I'm not sure how
Yes.
to do it. Yeah,
We'll go over that one.
Okay.
And just as a side note, if we don't get to your question, we will try to put out some answers to them after the webinar. I see, Tamika, so your question was answered okay? I'm just looking at the questions.
Yes.
Dawn's asking, even if they come directly, I think that's referring to students. If they come, like if they call the training provider directly, do they have to log into the system? They should, because that's going to make it easier when you report your training.
And so any training which they are going to register, if they are supposed to submit the accreditation application, then we need them to create a profile here and register. So this is more about lead rental certification and accreditation, right? So if I'm a student, if I'm pursuing any license, I want to join a course. So what I have to do is I come here, I create a profile, and you can also direct them. If they come directly to you, you direct them to this application, ask them to create a profile, and go to training courses and register the course which they are interested in. Means they can look for the company name or the course name or the date range, and they can register directly here. So they should register if they are pursuing any application, because we will track everything during submission of applications. Everything will be tied together inside the application. So they have to come here and register.
Okay, so we'll take one more question for this section. Tamika has her hand raised again, and then we'll move on. And if there's time left at the end, we can answer some more questions. And again, feel free to type them in. If we don't get them to them today, we'll try to get answers back as soon as we can after the webinar.
I just wanted to clarify because I'm on to have training every day, well, Monday through Thursday, and that is correct, right? You have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and they're all going to be different trainings.
Today and tomorrow are going to be the same training, but you're welcome
tomorrow because I did today.
Yeah, no, you don't, but you're welcome to attend if you'd like to see it again. And then Wednesday and Thursday will be the same training, but it's going to be geared more to the other users, the service providers, inspectors, supervisors.
Not myself.
Not necessarily you, no.
Okay.
But it might be helpful for you to see it, just so you know, if you guys get questions about it.
I'll do one or the other, Wednesday or Thursday, and I'll probably join tomorrow too. Thank you.
Okay, it's a lot. Okay, Bala, back to you. Thank you.
Thanks. And so now, think just I am a student. I have reached out to a training provider for a visual inspector license course, and I got a guidance that you go to this application, create your profile using register button. Once I create my profile, what I'll do is I'll just log into my application. Let me see if I can find some random. Once I log in, I will be directed to go to training courses to view the courses that are offered. I'll be directed to look for the specific training provider which I have reached out to, and the training session which I am interested in. Say, for example, this course organized by this OR3 Training Center. I want to attend this course schedule, and this is the direction I will get. That I will be asked to create a profile. I will be asked to go to this tile. I will be asked to look for that specific training which I have contacted for, and click on register and submit. So as a student who come to you directly, they need to come here and register, and they can go to their My Training and see which courses they have sent a request. Now, let me go back to the application as a training provider. So I'm the training provider. I'm getting into the application. I want to see who registered for the courses that are scheduled. So I click on manage classes. I'll scroll down. I'll see, okay, Visual Inspector initial course. There are 2 people who send their requests. So you want to see who are all there. You can click on this number. Okay, you can see, okay, there is one more request that you have received and is not yet approved. Exclamation is not yet approved. Means you did not approve this student to attend the course that is scheduled here. So when you contact to the student, you contact regarding the payment and the schedule confirmation. And once everything is good, if you want to approve this student to attend the course, you click on this button to approve. So now, Visual Inspector Initial, you have 2 people attending the course on so-and-so date at so-and-so location. This is complete. Assume the course is completed. You conducted the course today from morning to afternoon. The course is complete. The next step after completing the course is to give the attendance log, to give the score. If the user has passed the course, you have to generate the training card for that user. So these are the activities that happen after the class is complete. These activities will be done by the instructor of that class. If you see here, the instructor is not selected yet for this. So if you don't have an instructor selected for the class that is complete, we will not allow you to generate training card because we need to know who is doing it. Normally, it is the instructor who does the attendance log and who will generate the training card once the class is complete. So you need to make sure before you update the attendance log, before you generate the training cards for the attendees, you need to make sure instructor is selected for that. So you can click on edit and you need to select the instructor of that class. So you just update the class with the instructor name. Okay, I remove the, so I just change it online for now. So now I have given the instructor who is going to update the attendance log and who is going to generate the training. So now the class is complete. The next step is, okay, this user attended the class, you click on attendance log, you provide the details. Okay, is this user attended the class? Yes. Did you verify the ID of that attendant, the user in the class? Yes. Did the user pass the course? You can select pass. And what is the score of the class? You can enter any score and say update score. We are not going to validate the score. It's everything is entered manually and data is taken by the person who is entering the score and update the score. So now if you see, for this training, I entered the attendance log. Now I got a new icon to generate a training card for that user. The second training, I did not enter the attendance log. So there is nothing to generate the training card. So this is blank. So until you complete entering the attendance log, you will not get an option to generate the training card for the training. So for this training, I entered the attendance log. I got a new icon to generate the training card. So you click on training card. You'll get a pop-up showing, okay, who is the trainee. You'll see the name of the trainee, date of birth of the trainee, expiry date of the training card, class code. VI is Visual Inspector, I means initial. So you'll get the class code. Then you will have the who is the training provider. So that is the name. And then for all the training cards, photo is mandatory. So you need to take a photo, upload into your system, and then link. Or you need to take a decision whether you want to print and stick it. But we are not going to allow you to print this card until you upload the photo. So if you see, please upload the training photograph to generate the training card. So what you have to do is you have to get the digital passport photos of the trainees. Once you have the digital passport photos in your system, you click on this profile photo icon. It will take you to a page to where you have stored all your photos. Let me see if I can randomly find some pictures. Let me just quickly do one thing.
Bala, while you're doing that, I'm going to ask a couple of questions that have come in. And it has to do with the training, adding the instructor's name. One
Yes.
question is that, can you add the instructor after the course is completed? And the other question is, students will not be able to select an instructor. Why is it important to select an instructor? So I think that that needs to be clarified a little bit. That is when you're actually, when you get to approving the classes and scoring them, an instructor will have to be added. Otherwise, it's not going to save the data.
That's right. So do we need an instructor to be provided before completing the class? No, you can complete the class even without selecting the instructor. You need instructor only to give the attendance log and generate a training. Because we miss, when you're giving the attendance log, you know that who is the instructor is, right? You cannot have an instructor blank and you cannot even give an instructor if you don't have an instructor. See, you should know the person who has conducted this class, then only you can enter attendance. So if you see here, for this class, what I just did is I removed the instructor and I'm trying to give attendance log. Update the instructor in the class. Because if there is no instructor, how can you even enter attendance log? We will not allow that. So we should know who the instructor is before you enter the attendance log. So that is required. But for conducting class initially or scheduling class, you don't need it. It's optional. You can schedule classes without selecting instructor. You need instructor
And
only.
Bala,
Yes.
Bala, I have another question from Dawn here. She wants to know that the approving is done before the class. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Students will not be able to select an instructor. There is another question. Okay. So I'll just move on. So as I said, I'll reiterate.
Bala,
Yes.
just adding on to that, the students are not able to select the instructor. It is the prerogative of the training provider who selects the instructor who is teaching the class, not the students. Just wanted to clarify on that. Okay, go ahead, please.
So students will not even have access to do all these activities. So these styles to manage employees or instructors, manage physical training locations, schedule classes, all these activities are given to only the profile who is authorized to manage that business. Student will not even have or see these styles. So they cannot even select any instructor. They don't even have that is not possible for them to do. So now assume this course is complete and 2 people attended the course. So I have provided the attendance log for 1 training. Now I have to generate a training card for the training. So once you complete training attendance log, once you update the attendance log, you click on the training card icon. You need to select and link the profile photo of the training. So I randomly selected a white image. That's why you don't see anything here. So, but you need to select a profile picture. Then only we will allow you to generate that. And if you see on the card, you will see the trainee name, date of birth, expiry date of the training card, the class code, that the trainee attended and the training provider name. And you can click on generate card. Now, once you complete generating a card, you will see a green button and a purple button, icons. So green icon is the one which you can print. So when you click on it, a PDF will be downloaded. And if you open the PDF, you will see the training card, which you can print and give it to the trainee for their records. So this is the training card that's generated. And you can print it and you can get the signature, physical signature, and give it to the trainee for the records. And training provider will have access to this button all the time. They can always come here and print it. It's not one-time activity. If they need to reprint it, they can come here and click on this green button and they can reprint the training card. And if you think while printing, after printing, the photo is not clear, you want to change the quality of the photo. That is why you have this purple icon. This will be active only for 2 weeks. You can always click on this purple button and change the photo. You can get a new good quality photo, profile photo. You can upload it and print the training card again. So we are giving the training provider this purple icon only to change the photo. You cannot change anything else. Only the profile photo can be changed for a limited time. Means when you print the training card, if you think the photo is not clear, you can request for a good quality photo. You can use this button to upload or update the profile photo. That's the only option you can. And similarly, you do the same. So for one training, I have given the attendance log. I generated the training card. Another training, same thing. I am updating the attendance log. Okay, attended, yes. Identity verified, yes. Pass, yes. Score, set, and update. Now the attendance log is updated. That's why you see the green color. And now I am generating the training card for this second training. So I'm clicking on the icon.
Dawn has her hand raised. All right, can you take the question?
One second, let me just complete this generate.
Okay, so I'm a little confused about the training card. Is that something as a training provider we will do and print out and give to the student? Or do we complete it and then the student on their own go and print it out?
Okay, I can explain that. So 2 options. What you're seeing now is, as a training provider, you have access to print and give to the trainee. That is where you are. Similarly, the students who attended the class can log into their profile, go to training courses, click on my training, and they can see the training card number and they can see their expiration date and they can take a printout of this. They cannot go and generate the PDF which you generated.
So if we don't give them the card by the end of the class, they can't get a card.
Or you have to mail it to them.
Yeah.
Well, we don't mail our stuff. We hand it out at the end of the day. So now we're going to have to pay to mail things out, which is added expense and time.
Yeah, but you could do it the same day as well using the system.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can't because we won't know the student's score until they're done. So currently the way we do it is we print all the cards out, and if the student doesn't pass, then we destroy it. But I can't have, thinking about a lead refresher where we have 30 people here, there's no way after everyone does the exam that we could generate a card in time. And then we'd be required to mail it. So if a student can't print the card, to me this seems
You can
unrealistic.
email it, right? Why do you can even email to their email address, right? You can download the PDF of the training card which I just downloaded, and they can email it to them, right? They can print the email attachment. Why you need to mail? It means it's not required to mail all the time.
Well, it's just that, you know, a student's going to want again, that's just extra time on our part where we have to download a PDF and then email it to the student, which is additional time. I'm just, as a training provider, I'm just trying to tell you how this will affect us.
So could you please repeat the steps which you follow currently? Like you said, you print all the training cards well before and then tear them out
Right.
if they fail?
Right. So when the students come in, you know, however many we have, 10, 15, 20, whatever, we download the pictures, attach them to the card, print the cards, have the students currently sign them. Then we laminate them and we attach them to their certificate. When the student leaves at the end of the class, if they pass, they are handed their certificate and their card, which is laminated, and they leave. So, but we don't know the score, we just know they passed. And then after that, we put the score in our database, which is what we report right now in FoxPro, the actual score. So I just see a bunch of people being very upset about their training cards.
So what I understand here is basically you do everything beforehand and you just hand it over only if they pass.
Correct. And then we fill in the score later. So we fill the score in after, like the next morning after the class, because they're here till 4. If we could print the card without the actual score and the pass or fail, then that would work, because then we could go back and add the score later for the log.
Okay, so only option you have here is you can do everything, but what you have to do is you have to select pass. You don't need to enter the score initially and generate the card for everyone. Means you can generate the card even before completing the class, as you are currently doing, right? Only thing you have to do is while giving the attendance log initially, like before class, as you are doing, you select everything as no, but only thing you have to select is set it as pass initially to get the training card generated.
Okay, so when you just brought that up, there was a red asterisk next to the score. So what you're saying is I could generate the card without the score, like I currently do, and then come back in after the class and add the score.
Yes.
Okay.
If you see here, I can always change the score here. You see, that card is generated. I can click this and I can change it.
Okay.
So I would suggest is to initially set it as 0, but only thing you have to be careful is set it as pass. Then only you will get this.
Right. No, I get that, because that would solve the issue if I can add it. We can generate. Becky, will that be required to be a color photo on that card?
Dawn, we haven't really decided on that.
Sorry to cause trouble.
Think that we'll have to get back to you on that one. Would that be a problem, having a color photo?
It just means we'd have to print it in color. That's the only, I mean, I'm not saying we can't print it in color. I'm just asking what would be required.
I think color would be better, but the card will be in color also, so.
It's up to them.
Yeah.
I'd be training providers end up with the solution, particularly, you know, on a one-day class, what they do. Maybe that would be a topic for another time.
Yeah, no, it's a good question though. And then just just in case everybody didn't see my email, if you could address questions to the audience and not to individual users, that would be appreciated, because Kate and other users that are available are not actually, you know, program people. their technical support. So that's a good question, Dawn. I'm not sure at this point. I think probably yes, color. That's what I'm going to say off the top of my head, because the cards are in color. And the thing with emailing the cards is we do, kind of like that they're laminated. So that might have to be an internal conversation, but
I
for
think
now,
the students would like it because they have to last 2 years. And
yes, exactly.
in a wallet, a paper copy is not going to last 2 years. Just realistic.
No, probably not. And then this seems like a good place to pause briefly. We have a lot of questions that came in.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Can training provider continue to issue cards? Yes. You will have access to your schedule all the time. And you can always go to the registrations and you'll be able to print these cards anytime you need for the specific course.
Like if someone contacted them and said, I've lost my card, they'd be able to print it?
Yes, they can come back with this and print it.
Okay.
And next question, we will only be issuing them through this website, not the way we are currently doing it. Is that correct? How does the trainer sign? Well, I don't know how. I think currently you will have the training card generated and you will get the signature before you laminate or give it to the trainee. Like when you print this card or when you generate the PDF and print it, you can have the trainer sign it and give it to the trainee. We are just giving you a digital version of the card, and as I just discussed, you can print it before the class or you can print after the class is complete. But what we are giving here is only a digital version of the card. When you print it out, you can always do as you prefer to do in your current operations. I hope I answered that question. And follow up, do we print the cards or do the students do that? Only training providers.
Yeah, I think that only the training providers should be printing them.
Yeah.
Because we don't want, people making their own cards up out there.
Right. Next comment from Don, that seems a little unrealistic if you have to do this during a refresher class. So I don't know what is the scenario of the refresher class.
I didn't understand what you just said, Bala.
Because I did not understand the question.
Which question was it?
Comment from Don Joy. Kate has posted.
She just posted that she already answered that question, Bala.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, so moving on, there's a question from Michael Spangler.
It is acceptable to email a copy.
Yes.
If it doesn't need to be laminated, you can email it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we want the cards laminated and we want the training providers issuing them. Only difference is that they'll come out of the system and we won't have to mail you training cards constantly anymore.
But do you accept an email copy? That's the question actually, Vicky.
I think that we're gonna have a conversation about that one.
Okay. So just leave it unanswered.
Yeah, I think that's, I don't think that we should be emailing people copies of their training cards.
Okay. So those are all the questions. Should we send back the training cards we have and this becomes live?
Eventually we'll ask you to do that.
Right.
Okay, so Bala, I'm not sure what else you have to cover. We'll stop
Yes.
there
No.
and
Oh, you want to take a brief break?
we could do a 5-minute break if people might need to
Yeah, I
get
will
up
give a
and
5-minute break and then have topics to submit the application.
great, thank you.
So we'll have a 5-minute break and we'll join at 2:55.
That sounds great.
Hello, Becky. Is it clear?
That sounds a little better.
Okay.
It sounded like you were far away.
Okay. I hope everyone is back. I think we can resume. All right. So far what we covered is how to create a profile to manage your business, like how to manage your employee list, how to manage your training locations or company addresses, how to schedule and manage your classes, how to view the registration requests, and how to update the attendance log and generate the training card. So next topic is how to submit an accreditation application for the service provider. So to submit any accreditation application, you have to click on select on apply for accreditation type. If you click on this select, you land on a page showing apply for accreditation. And the first question is it going to be a renewal? Yes or no? So say I'm going to submit for a new, like initial accreditation license, not a renewal. Then I'll select as no, this is not a renewal. And I'll click on go. And you have to keep in mind the applicant, whether it is a service provider or whether it is a specific user for any specific role. They need to have the SSN or TIN number in their profile. If the SSN number or TIN number is not available in their business profile that is created or added, it will throw application will not let you proceed. It will throw error that the so and so service provider do not have SSN or TIN number. Please update and then proceed. So before even applying, make sure the profile is having the right TIN number or SSN as required. So I'm saying this is the initial, so that's why I selected no, go. And then in the next page, you'll be asked what type of application it is. Say I'm applying for a training provider application. So I'll select for this application type. And for this application type, we have only one category, which is training provider. So similarly, if you see here, there are multiple applications you can apply. Right? If you are applying for a course accreditation application, you select this application type, and then the page will refresh with the application categories which you need to. Like, are you applying for an inspector technician course or a risk assessor course? So based on the application type you select, the category will be updated. Say I want to apply for a training provider license. So I select the training provider application and category as training provider. And the next thing you have to do is you have to select the training provider. So it means you need to identify the training provider for which the application is being submitted. So for that purpose, you need to enter minimum 3 letters to identify the training provider. So if you enter some letter and if the training provider is not there in this application, we will not show any suggestion list for you to proceed. So what you have to do is when you type in the letters that contain the company name, we will auto populate a list. Say if company name has red, or let me see if it is a big list. One thing you have to keep in mind is this profile is created to manage only one business, that is this training. That is why if you try to enter any other name of any other service provider, we will not show. Even though they exist, you are not eligible to submit application for that company. you are eligible to submit application only for the company you are authorized. That is why even if you enter any other company name, we will not show you to select and proceed. So what you do is you enter your company name, and if you are authorized user, we will show that. You select the company name and then proceed. Now you will land on the application page. So if you see the general application information, you will see the applicant name, SDAT number, and the information you see here is completely taken from the business profile that is created in the system. So the street address, the mailing address, so everything you see here is pulled out from the business profile of this training provider. And if you scroll down, you see application type section, whether you have any existing accreditation or not. By default, it will be no, because you selected this as an initial application, not a renewal. Hence, this will be no. And if you scroll down, you will see accreditation category and fee. So you are applying for a training provider and the fee is $300. And in that section, you will see the list of your employees. Whoever you have added in your manage employees section, they will be listed here. So if you want those employees or instructors to be part of this list, you keep them. If you see some of the employees who are not instructors and they should not be part of this application, you can simply click on delete. You can remove them, who is not applicable for this. So I removed 2 administrator employees. I kept 1 instructor who I think should be part of this list. And if I scroll down, there is a public listing page. It means this application is similar to the current application which you normally use. It's just a digital version of it. And in public listing, you can choose whether you want to be placed as a public listing, yes or no. If you select yes, which address you like to use, your street address or the mailing address, and your authorized representative name. And if you have any website, you can enter the website. But this will be pulled from your profile if it is existing. So what you see here is already there in the business profile, and that is why this is pre-populated. And then if you scroll down, you'll see the training locations. So currently I deleted all the locations for that business profile. That's why I don't see any locations. And if you see the courses offered for the training provider, you select all the applicable courses for which you're trying to get this training provider license for. And if you see, these are only selected as part of training provider license. Course accreditation will be submitted separately. So that should be noted. And if you scroll down, we mentioned all the curriculum, all the supporting documents you need to attach to this application. And we have provided some details for a quick preview what needs to be attached. You can select here in the document upload all the documents that you need to attach to this application. And you can add comments about the document and say upload. So that specific document will be attached to the application. So like that, you can add any number of documents. And you can click on this icon to download the document you uploaded, or you can click on this icon to delete the document and upload something else. So these 2 icons can be used to download this document or to delete the document from the application. And if you scroll down, you have option. If you are a non-profit training provider, you can select this and you see the total fee will become 0. If you are not a non-profit training provider, it will be $300. And then the representative of this contractor and the title of the representative, and then you have the statement agreement that everything you have provided above is accurate. Once you fill the information, you click on, say you don't want to submit yet. You want to come back and update it later, say for example. you can click on just save application and say yes. So now the application is saved and you will land on a page where your all current applications will be listed. So if you see here, this is a previous application I submitted for test purpose, but if you see this one, this is the one I just saved. And you see the status of the application, draft. So this is in draft status. It's not yet submitted. You filled part of the information and saved it. You can log out and you can come back after a few days. After you come back on the dashboard, you see this My Application Style. You click on Select. You'll see the applications that you have saved or the applications that are submitted, and you can see the statuses of those. So now I have come back, I want to submit this application. So I'll click on this icon to reopen that application. I can again preview everything, if everything is looking good or not, if I need to change or anything, I can just update. And then I can see the document that is attached. I can see it's $300 because it's non-profit. And now I want to continue. So we can click on continue. Yes. So for a training provider, if you see one location and one course must be offered, as you can see, first thing is I have deleted all the locations for this training provider. That's why there is no location. So what I have to do now is I cannot submit without any locations. So I have to go to my dashboard, go to manage locations. I have to provide some locations for this training provider. So I'll just randomly enter some test data. So I just entered 2 training locations for this training provider. So now I have locations added to the profile. I'll just go back and see if I can refresh and update training locations here. No, yeah. So one problem here you need to keep in mind is if you do not enter the locations before selecting or submitting or saving the application is not auto-uploaded with the training locations. So you have to keep in mind before even selecting or submitting, starting an application, you need to have all the details that are required to be in place for the company. So like now I need to have the employees listed, I need to have the instructors listed, added to the profile, I need to have the locations added to the profile. So all the required information must be present before I start an application. So now I'm going to restart and submit a new one. So an initial training provider, category is training provider, and for this training provider, proceed. So I just want to remove this admin employee that I have only one instructor. I say for now, I say no. And if you see here now, the training locations that I have added, they showed up on the application. If you think some of the addresses that you added are not applicable, you can delete them. You can just select the ones that are applicable for this application. And you can select the courses that are applicable and you can just update any document that is supporting this application. And then enter the authorized username, agree to the everything, and then say continue. After you continue, you will land on a review page. So this is just for your review. You cannot edit or change anything. If you want to edit or change anything, you can click on edit again. But this is just for you to review everything is good or not. And now there is a fee involved in submitting this application. So for this, you have to click on continue to payment. Excuse me. If there is no fee involved in this application, if the fee is $0, you will not see continue to payment. You will see continue to submit. So you will just submit to the MDE team to process the application. So right now I'm going to the flow where fee is involved. So I'll just click on continue to payment. You'll see a preview of what this is about. Accreditation category training provider, fee is 300. You click on pay now. And now you will enter a third-party e-payment portal. You have options to pay by card, check. So I am selecting to pay by card and then say make payment. Now you'll enter all the card details. As this is test, you're just entering some test data and continue and confirm. Now the payment is processing. If it is successful, you'll land on successful page. So let's just give a few minutes, a few seconds. Now you see the payment is successful. You'll land on the successful page. You'll get an email about this transaction, and you can also view here, or you can take a printout of this page directly. Now, if you go to my application, you will see the training provider application submitted. Now the application is submitted. You can always click on this green icon to view what is submitted. You can click on the green icon and you can see the application anytime you need. And now if you observe in the bottom right corner, you see this processing blue box. This will help you to communicate with the MDE team. Like while processing this application, if any MDE team member has any questions on this application, or if they have any questions on the documents you provided, or the instructors, or anything related to the application, if they send a message, you'll see it here. So Becky, will you be able to pick this application and send a message? Becky, are you there?
I'm working on it.
Okay. So now, as a training provider, I submitted a training provider license application. That's all I did. Now it's in processing. So MDE team is reviewing my application, and if they have any questions, they'll send a message, and you can always come back, log in, go to my applications, and you can always review. See, if you see now the application is changed from submitted to processing, means some team member has picked your application. So now it is in processing. So you can see the status of your application, what's happening. So if any user has picked it and if it is in processing, you'll see the status changing whenever it is updated. So you just confirm and you send me a message. Okay.
Bala, while we're waiting, there was a question regarding training course applications. How will the course manuals and materials be submitted for review by MDE? I don't know if you can answer that or if that's for Becky, and I know we're waiting patiently for her.
What you have to do is you have to attach all of those manuals in the application, and an MDE team will review while processing the application.
Thank you. And for those of you who are typing questions, I'm getting them privately. If you could check in your chat box or in your questions box and make sure in the two that you have selected all, so that they actually get posted to the question box. We are keeping a track of that, and we will be addressing them and reviewing them after this. Thank you.
Let me do one thing. So that is fine, Vicky. So I'll just proceed. So as I said, once you submit the application, you can always come back to my application style. You can always view, and if you want to see any messages or communications, you open that specific application and you need to go to this processing box looking for any updates or questions from the MDE team. Like if MDE team member sent you any message asking for some question or asking for any documentation that you forgot to attach, or if it is not clear, you can always look for those messages here. And if you need to attach any new document, okay, let me see if it is. Yeah, if you see here, I just opened the processing box and I got a response, send a document. Like this, you may get some questions or messages from the processor, application processor. And say, for example, they are asking for some documents that you did not attach. And now you can open the application and you go to this attachment and you can just attach those documents. Requested doc attachment. And you can choose that new document directly here and upload. So now, after you got that request from the MDE processor, you uploaded a document, and you can send a message, thanks, and a respective attachment is added. You can even provide a response to the processor through this processing box. So you can always look at all the attachments that are attached to your application. So this is how you can communicate or receive messages for a specific application that is being processed. And Becky, can you approve this application? Say now I have provided all the requests or provided the response that is needed to process my application. Now say MDE team processor has taken this decision to approve. They'll just go further down the flow and they'll approve your application. And once I get the confirmation, I'll reopen the applications. Okay, now I got an update, it's done. So if you see now, the status changed from processing to approved. So now my application is approved. And if I reopen this application, you will see a button, print certificate. And let me see if there is a new message. There are no new messages. And now I can print my license. So if you click on print certificate, a digital version of your accreditation license will be downloaded. And if you open that PDF, this is how the license will look like, the certificate. And this is to certify that this training provider has met the requirements for a training provider. This is the expiry date. And this is the certificate number and the date it is issued. And you can print this certificate anytime you need. You just need to come to your My Applications and then open the application and print it. And there is another way for you to print it. I will show that time, which is My Accreditations. If you see now, I got a license. So I got accreditation license. So I can click on My Accreditations, select. I can see the accreditations I am holding. Right now, this is the application that is approved. And this is my accreditation number. This is my accreditation start date. This is my accreditation expiry date. And I can click on this green button to download that. So you can download your certificate, license certificate, from two types. You can go to My Applications and go to specific application, or you can go to My Accreditations and go to specific accreditation. So this is how you can apply, you can communicate, you can review your applications, you can, once it is approved, you can review your licenses. So this is how you complete submitting an application for a training provider. So similarly, the same step, if you want to apply for a course, you come here, you select, okay, it's an initial course accreditation. So that's why you select no, you click on go, you select the course and which course. For each course, you have to submit a separate application, and then you select the training provider and then proceed. And you provide all the information that is required, all the attachments that are required to be attached, and then continue and submit. Similarly, if an instructor has to submit an instructor accreditation, they have to come, create a profile, join all the courses, complete all the exams that are necessary. Let me just do it. Because for instructors, you may need to see how we do it. Say I'm an instructor, I'm getting into the system. I like to apply for an instructor. So I'll select apply for accreditation. I select no, initial instructor, instructor accreditation. Categories, I want to visual inspector, instructor. And now as an instructor, I need to select who my employer is. So we'll ask who your employer is. So this organization one has already added me as their employee. That is why I could see. If no one has added me as their employee, I will not see anything here. So you need to request your employer to add your profile as their employees. Then only you can submit. So I am selecting my employer. And for instructor, I need to select a training. I need to select an exam that I have taken. So these two are required for this instructor initial application, and then proceed. And same thing, you'll get into this instructor application. You can see who is the training provider, and whether it is initial or a renewal application. If I have any exam selected, what is the exam date? My training information is auto-linked based on the training that I have selected. And then if there is any experience that needs to be provided for new instructors, I need to provide some experience. So I just select some random experience days, date range, and add. And I can submit. So this is how you submit an instructor application through apply for accreditation. And for training provider, as I said, you log in through your authorized user and submit for course accreditations and training provider accreditations. So this is where I will end today's training session. And we can take some questions on submitting the accreditation applications now. Would this be available for our review since it was recorded? Yes, and I will show one thing. You have access, once you create a profile, you will have access to this help buttons. So if you need to know how to register for training courses, you click on this help button and you can see the topics related to that tile. So for this tile, you need to know how to view the courses and register. Similarly, if you need to know how to schedule classes, you need help. You click on help. You can see the topics. Say you want to know how to add or view or schedule a class. You click on this topic. You'll get a PDF and you can refer this manual to understand that specific topic. You can download and print it. So each tile will have its own set of topics. So if you need to know how to manage locations, you click on help. You can see the topic of the tile. So once you have access to these tiles based on the role you created, you can refer to this help and you can always read through and play it around in this training environment. As if you see how to apply for accreditation, if you click here, you'll see topics, how to apply for training provider, course accreditation, how to apply for individuals or instructors. If you want to see how to submit training provider accreditation application, you click this topic and you'll get a manual on how to submit that specific application. So all these manuals are available as you need based on, you can click on this help icon and get to those. When we'll be able to go into the live site to start setting up. So I think we are targeting the first week of December, but before that, you can access this application URL and play around. If you need to understand how to schedule classes, how to manage your business, so how to apply for accreditations, you can always feel free to go to this UAT environment and you can play around. And please keep in mind, by default, you will not have access to manage employee, manage locations, and manage classes. You need to request the MDE team by email to give that approval. If you create any login profile and if you want the team to give you access, you need to contact them, even for UAT. And Becky, I don't know how that communication will happen for UAT. Is there any communication that can happen for them to get these approvals?
They could send us an email, Carol,
Okay.
myself,
Okay.
Devana. We can go in and probably approve those. Just to kind of reiterate what Bala just said, this is a user acceptance testing version. So you can go in with the URL that Kate shared in the messages, and you can go ahead and create your profiles and try to do whatever you want. When we actually go live, you'll have to do that again. But now's the time to go in and see, if there's any issues, or, familiarize yourself with the system. If you want to request authorized users, you can do so. Generally speaking, I would say we're going to go with the people that we already have as the person authorized to, make changes for the companies that we have. So in the testing environment, it's not too critical, but in the real environment, it probably will be, because they can change whoever you give that authorized user access to. They can change, all of your locations, and they have access to your account. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, they will have access to everything about the organization. So you should be careful to whom you should give the authorization. And one question here, Becky, are instructor exams and third-party exams going to be available more than 1 day per month? Do you have an answer for that?
Those will be available. We may the third-party exams right now, we still have the 1 day per month. I don't know that will change. The instructor exams, we may put some schedules in, but you can always contact us like you have in the past and request a date, and we can put it in.
Okay. And Tanika has a question. I think she raised her hand. Yes, Tamika.
Tamika, you're self-muted.
I apologize. I didn't see the link that Kelly had put in, but I got it.
Okay. Does everybody see the link?
All right. Any other questions? So I'll stop sharing, and but here, Michelle, you can give some closing notes.
Michelle, are you there? So I'd just like to thank everybody for coming and attending the meeting. I know it went fast and it was really a lot of information to take in, so I'd encourage you to try to log in. You know, let us know if you see any glitches or anything. You can send us an email and we'll pass it along. And other than that, you know, we look forward to going live and doing things online finally. And like I said at the beginning, if you have not instructors, you know, if you do inspections, make sure your inspection staff attends, if you can, one of the sessions on the 16th or 17th or 18th, Wednesday or Thursday sessions. And you're welcome to attend any more additional sessions that you wish. That was it for me. Michelle, you have something?
No, I'd just like to thank everybody for attending today, and we look forward to the launch of a new system, and hopefully it'll make you know, your guys' lives easier and ours as well. And as Becky said, we encourage you to, you know, if you can join any other sessions, that would be great, because, you know, just, you know, the more time at it, the better off, you know, it'll be easier to get used to and stuff like that.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks to Ken, Michelle.
Thank you.